So can you walk us through briefly like your call to the priesthood and when it started and what followed after that?
All right. So I grew up Catholic. My parents were both very involved in the church. So I remember walking out of the bus in like second grade or something and thinking, boy, I'd like to be Pope someday because the Pope has power. And then I learned like you don't need to be ordained to be a Pope. Like you can be a layman named as a Pope. I was like, wow, that's cool. But then you get ordained when you become Pope, of course. But it's like, wow, I could be the Pope and like in charge of this whole church and be like way better than the president. And that was second grade Nathan. And then that kind of went away because I didn't really want to be a priest. It was just having power. And then high school, it really struck me of, like God has a call for me as a mission. I'm called for something great, and He wants something from me, and He wants to love me and provide for me in my vocation either as a married man or as a priest. And He's calling me to do one of those two things. And so then I was on the search to figure out which one it was. And so I asked Him, and about 10th grade, like, do you want me to be a priest? And I didn't hear anything. So then I started dating a girl and, didn't hear anything, and came to about senior year. And by that time, I'd stopped dating this girl, and I was still like thinking about now it's the time to really choose whether I go on to college to study to be a priest or go on to college to be an engineer or, get a job that can support a family. And that was a lot of pressure. So I again went to the Lord and prayed and asked. And then I heard on relevant radio, actually, a priest told me just, pray to St. Therese of the Little Flower and trust your vocation to her. And so I prayed to her and asked for a sign of white roses. And sure enough, she gave me a little sign of white roses. And I was touched by that, but also kind of scared and confused because I didn't really want to be a priest. I didn't really know what it meant other than you show up on Sundays and you help the people and you hear confessions and Mass. All those things kind of excited me, but like the day-to-day work and what it takes to become a priest, I didn't know anything about. So I kind of didn't pursue that, didn't want to ask anyone, didn't tell anyone that I was really thinking about it until the fall or August. And that's when I finally told my parents, like, hey, I'm thinking about being a priest. And they sat with that, and it kind of shocked them at first. But my father told me, Nathan, I've always thought you might be called to be a priest. And that was very consoling to hear. It's like, my father's affirming like what he sees in me and that I could be a priest and be a good priest. Then it was like, well, what do I do from here? It's like, I don't know. And they said, well, you call it the vocations director. I was like, oh, who's that again? Like, Father Todd Peterson. So I called up Father Todd and talked to him. And by that time I was like, well, maybe it's not so much priest, but like general vocation discernment I want help with.
Right.
Kind of like backed off taking the jump of the leap of faith to be a priest. And so he talked to me and told me like, this is what you got to do, and start praying and, be intentional, go to Mass when you can. And so he really helped me walk through that first year where I wasn't in college after high school, but I was working and praying and growing in love with the Lord. So I started going to daily Mass, and then the church 15 minutes away from me started adoration, perpetual adoration. So I took an hour in the middle of the night and went there once a week to pray adoration, and then just more times of praying the rosary and falling in love and really pursuing what the Lord's will is and trying to find that peace and joy and happiness. And it was never really there about going to the seminary until I talked to a man and he told me, Nathan, lots of people go to the seminary, they don't become priests. But young men go to the seminary to become holy, to become men of God, and to really become virtuous men. I was like, well, that's what my heart wants. That's what I want to be. I want to be a virtuous man, one who respects their parents, one who respects women, one who respects men, and one who really can lift people up. So once I heard that's where men go to do that, I was like, well, sign me up. So I signed the paperwork and worked the whole summer and with a farmer, and then showed up to seminary, never visiting SJV. I showed up the first day. I was like, wow, this is St. Thomas. This is a seminary. This is very interesting. So, yeah, by the grace of God, I really fell in love with the place and really made really good friends at the seminary, and struggled at times to like persevere. And academics was not my thing after having a gap year. It was really hard to get back in the swing of studying and having that discipline. Then I found out this thing that I didn't think I'd have to study was philosophy. So I thought priests just studied theology.
Right.
And I was shocked that I had to take 4 years of philosophy, but really surrendered to that, and the Lord worked a lot, growing me intellectually through philosophy, even though I struggled and resisted it many times. But a lot of blessings and just being a great fraternity at SJV.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.